The Trump-Russia Investigation, Part 3, What's in the Report? Where can you find the report? You can Google the full report, but a good summary can be found at the website below. This also provides most of the social media content that Russia used to sow hate and discord in the 2016 US elections. What was released by the Intelligence Committee? A redacted report summarizing their findings. A list of fake Twitter accounts, advertisements, and tweets or articles by the Russian Times. There were 36,000 Russian-linked bot accounts, which helped to generate 288 million impressions of Russian bot tweets. Facebook data consisting of approximately 3,500 advertisements, which reached 11.4 million Americans, and 470 Facebook pages created by IRA, Russia's Internet Research Agency, that generated 80,000 pages of organic content and reached 126 million Americans. And finally, information indicating Russia interfered in the 2012 elections. The report cited possible motivations for Russia's interference in the 2016 elections. Putin may have wanted to discredit Hillary Clinton because he blamed her for inciting mass protests against his regime in late 2011 and early 2012. It is believed that Putin, or Russia, sees the US-led liberal democratic order as a threat. Putin may have sought to discredit the image of the United States and cast it as hypocritical because of US-directed efforts to defame Russia Panama Papers disclosure and the Olympic doping scandal. Also, Moscow perceived the election of President-elect Trump as a way to achieve an international counterterrorism coalition against the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant. Key points made in the report. The Democrats and Republicans agreed that Russians interfered with US elections. The Democrats felt there was a clear preference for Donald Trump, whereas the Republicans did not. Russians attempted to communicate with unwitting individuals of the Trump campaign and other political activists, but nothing came out of their meetings. The Russian interference consisted of creating fake profiles, placing ads, getting Americans to sign petitions, and planning protests for Americans to take part in. There were ads posted on Twitter which suggested people could vote for Hillary Clinton from their phone. The Department of Homeland Security assessed that the types of systems Russian actors targeted or compromised were not involved in vote tallying. Democrats and Republicans disagreed on the idea of subpoenaing more witnesses. Other interesting findings on the report. Russians hacked and collected information on both Democrat and Republican-affiliated targets, but did not conduct a comparable disclosure campaign for Republican-affiliated targets. The Russian Times became the only Russian media company to partner with WikiLeaks and had received access to new leaks of secret information. Putin, Russian officials, and other pro-Kremlin pundits stopped publicly criticizing the US election process as unfair almost immediately after the election because Moscow promptly assessed it would be counterproductive to building positive relations. Russian media outlets like Russian Times and Sputnik consistently cast President-elect Trump as an outsider targeted by unfair coverage from traditional US media outlets that were subservient to the corrupt political establishment. And the Russians interfered with the 2012 US elections.
My last election, yeah. After my election, I have more flexibility. Yep.
Yeah, I understand. I transmit this information to Vladimir and Stenberg.
Were the Russians right? Was Trump unfairly targeted by traditional US media outlets? Russian Times America TV and 2012 Russian interference. Russian Times America TV is a Kremlin finance channel operated from within the United States. It substantially expanded its repertoire of programming to highlight criticism of alleged US shortcomings in democracy and civil liberties. Up to the November 2012 election, English channel Russian Times America portrayed the US electoral process as undemocratic and featured calls by US protesters for the public to rise up and take this government back. Russian Times reports often characterize the United States as a surveillance state and allege widespread infringements of civil liberties, police brutality, and drone use. Russian Times described the US political system as corrupt and dominated by corporations. They aired a documentary about the Occupy Wall Street movement on the 1st, 2nd, and 4th of November of 2012, framing the movement as a fight against the ruling class. Speaking of Occupy Wall Street,
look at what they value and look at their budget and what they're proposing. Romney wants to he said the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
additional questions to consider. Why did Republicans not want additional witnesses called? Why were there multiple leaks regarding the investigation? Were those leaks politically motivated? If Russia had a connection with a member of the Trump campaign, why try to form more? Likewise, why would the Trump campaign try to form more connections than they allegedly already had? What criteria did the investigative committee use to determine that Russia favored Donald Trump? Did they look at solely Trump versus Hillary ads, or did they look at all ads in their entirety? Did they take into consideration impressions, ad count, or the funds budgeted to each side? I only ask this question because Facebook ads were not categorized. How did the Russians use Facebook to influence the election? Stay tuned for part 4, Facebook ads.